just had to drop Carl and Alan over at a cricket tryout.
Oh, God.
So he's doing that, and I've got to pick them up later. Go shopping. And where do you want me to look at? You?
Yeah,
At
so,
the-
yeah.
Those photos?
Oh, yeah. Nice and
Okay. Did you? You've been researching. Well, at the moment I'm working with ABC News Radio, which is an all-news 24-hour news channel. So we're the radio equivalent of News 24 basically. So our agenda is to just cover news as it breaks, do a comprehensive look at that. We have news segments, which are about 10 minutes wrap in of the news, and then we go into a feature block where we explain the news in more detail. I was manager ABC Southeast, which is based in Bega. So down there, that was the local ABC station. So in our role in ABC Southeast, we were doing local programming. So I was on air from 8:30 until 11, doing local programs, interviewing local people about issues that were relevant to them, also arts and culture, and a comprehensive wrap really of the local community. It's very different in that when you're in a regional station like ABC Southeast, we are very much geared towards those local stories. We're covering council, we're covering people who might be visiting the area, like local performing artists who might be coming through. So covering the whole community. In news radio, it's more a national focus, so national news that might affect people. Even if it's a New South Wales story, you have to try to pick a story that has some implications or some relevance for a national audience. In the management position, I suppose I was freer to set the agenda in deciding what stories we would cover and what stories we wouldn't cover. But with working within a team, we get together at News Radio, we have different programs. We have a breakfast program, morning, afternoon and drive and evenings. And within those programs, we have teams that are working. So we get together and we discuss what stories we're going to pursue. I think radio is effective, is still an effective medium in comparison to television, the internet, newspapers, because radio is a very personal medium. So it's basically in the ear of the listener. So it's the voice coming out of the radio and the listener. It's very accessible, and I think it's a more honest medium because you don't go through as many filters. So I think that does make it a more accessible, a more personal, and a more immediate form of media, and I think that's why it's withstood the test of time so far. And it's survived film, it's survived TV, it's survived the internet, and it keeps on changing. It's very different now, radio, to what it was. The way news is covered on radio is very different now to what it was in those early years. But it's there. It's in people's it's in your car. Yes, I do, and it's very important, especially as an ABC journalist, because you're being constantly attacked for bias. You do a story, for instance, in news radio, we might be covering a story on the Middle East. So it doesn't matter what side you're taking, there'll be phone calls saying, well, you're giving the Palestinians too much of a say, you're giving the Israelis too much of a say. So within that, you have to be aware that you've got to cover both sides of the story. And you might totally disagree with somebody you're talking to, but you can't show that. It's not your view that matters. What matters is the people who are making the news and letting them have their say and leaving it for the listener to decide. It's a privilege to be able to tell the stories of people as they arise and as they impact on their lives, to be a witness.